Small business is about courage, risk-taking, independence, and we small business owners are survivors. Everybody has an idea for a business, but how do you take that idea from mind to market? This is the place to learn.
Small Business School with Hattie Bryant.
It's a new kind of school. Together we'll learn about business from the inside out, from the people who've done it. We'll meet the men and women who are today's pioneers and quiet heroes. Their lives are the textbooks. Our classroom is the world.
Small Business School is made possible by support from the United States Postal Service, delivering the promise to America's 23 million small and growing businesses. There's no wait at the post office in your own office. USPS.com is waiting for you. And by Microsoft.
We see you building a new company from an old company. We see a business full of potential. We're inspired to create software that helps you reach it.
Hi, I'm Hattie Bryant. If you want to understand how businesses are built and how they grow, stay with us for the next 30 minutes. Jim Morris doesn't look like a businessman. He looks like a hippie. Jim doesn't talk like a businessman. He talks like an environmentalist. Don't be fooled. After 20 years, he's learned that for him to achieve his huge goal to save the earth, he has to be a businessman. We say that small business owners are the new American heroes because we're the creators of work. Jim is also a hero to the environmentalists of the world. And if you want to run a business for the purpose of advancing a cause, as so many of us do, he can be your hero too. Here's Jim Morris. On the edge of Boulder, Colorado, and close to a walking path, we found Jim Morris environmental t-shirts. In 1 year, this catalog company will sell $2 million worth of art on a shirt and at the same time help environmental groups raise money and awareness.
I'll take the darker one. It's more of a green and he likes that. Yeah, we just love the good graphics and the good pictures.
We try to make it so that people will see something in the wildlife that they want to respect or identify with. Maybe the way you identify with a teddy bear when you're little. When you grow up, you want there to be bears and wolves for you to listen to or know that are out there.
Yeah. Kirsten, do you like the shirt you're wearing? You want to show them your bears? Yeah.
Jim, this company's 20 years old, and you've done a lot, but I want to understand how you started. Where did the initial idea come from? What was the light bulb?
It was to try and help wildlife, to help endangered species. When I was a grad student, we were interested in, I went up and saw a slideshow and speech and video, some movies and videos about whales and the need to protect them, how they were close to extinction. And after we'd done that, I thought it was sort of fun writing letters to Congress and giving slideshows to fifth graders and all the things that we did in this little group. That was more fun than math? It was in a way more fun than math grad school. So I finished my master's, but then started making up t-shirts outside of the group. I made a business out of it, running an ad in an environmental magazine and making up a little catalog myself.
Okay, did you make money on the first project?
Actually, we did. It was right. I was the only employee at the beginning, and I printed the shirts and with the help of friends would make up ads and their suggestions. Friends would drive me down to Denver where we'd buy a light source to cure the ink. And
did you do the screening yourself at the beginning?
You know, the traditional thing where I piled the boxes of shirts on my sofa and my home phone was the office phone, and I thought that was the only way you could run a business.
So Jim, you were making these by hand in your basement, right?
In a garage of a neighbor. I was actually printing them on an old wooden thing I made out of 2x2s and hinges.
And in fact, Save the Wolf was one of the first ones, right?
Yes, this is one of the two that we started with, the Save the Wolf. On the back it has an eagle, and Then the other one was about saving dolphins and saving whales.
Explain to me now what we see here. This is
What we see here, this is the design, we call the songbird. And this is full color process.
Tondot runs production.
First we put the yellow down, then we put on red on top. You see this is redder. The third one we have the blue on top of it, so you can see a little more brown right here on this bird is brown.
right.
And the fourth one is black, so that's a complete design.
There's the four color.
That's a full color process.
John Goyer does the custom artwork. Okay, so tell me what you're working on right here.
I'm working on a shirt for Conservation International, designed by Stephen Nash.
So these animals actually look like they really look.
Absolutely. They are correct.
People get tons of mail, they get tons of catalogs, they get yours. Why do they buy from you?
Well, I think the artwork speaks for itself. I think that's the starting point. They like the artwork. And anything that I can do to sort of enhance the artwork on each page is going to maybe bring him to our company. We just keep working with the catalog and trying to do new things, trying to punch up the color a little bit. And this year's new catalog will go even further.
What do you mean going further?
Something that Jim is moving along, the company's moving along. There's going to be that many more designs, new things to look at. So hopefully it'll be more exciting.
We're not buying a Hanes t-shirt, we're buying your artwork. How do you find these artists? How do you get them interested in working with you? Do your customers, like the Sierra Club or what other, these people bring this art to you? Because it seems to me you've got some great artists on t-shirts around here. You know, how do you convince people to do that?
Partly because we're already doing it, that we will have a catalog that we mail out. We'll have ads in environmental magazines. So artists will see those and send in letters and samples of their art. Sometimes it's accidental. It's when I first started, I saw someone carrying an artist portfolio, and I walked up to her and asked if she did wildlife art, and she may have been Ellen who did. I mean, she did do this design. I think that's how I met her. She did many of our designs in the beginning. Most of the artists seem to be really great people.
Okay, so Jim, did you write this phrase, share the earth?
I came up with the phrase a long time ago for our newsletter about environmental alerts, but one friend calligraphed it, and another friend had done the artwork, the different creatures there.
And these are animals and plants, even though it looks like stained glass, initially to me.
The idea might be that if we can see a pattern, then we can sense something bigger than ourselves, or sense how we fit into things and find our rhythm. I don't know whether it's being centered or what, but you can be more confident. A math professor of mine said that if you can learn to do one thing well, if you can see pattern in math, for example, then you'll have confidence that you can learn other things. You can see other regular beauty in nature, and you can show it to other people and be more upbeat about what's going on in the universe.
Can we make money? Can we make a business out of joy and love, out of spreading joy and love?
Well, it's partly, there's a lot of great people who work really hard here. They come in early and work late and work weekends and go to trade shows and are friendly to customers on hot days, and they like each other. They're nice to each other. They socialize with each other. They're great people here.
How many employees now?
I think we probably have about, somewhere between 18 and 20.
Okay. Give me some advice. What do small business owners need to do when it comes to getting the right people? How do you get the right people?
Boy, it seems like they just sort of appear. Maybe if you have an ad saying what the focus of your business is, then they may
Do you
apply.
run ads?
We do sometimes, but and some of them are also sort of accidental. Some of the people like Kathy are through ads and have turned out wonderfully, and others are friends of friends and turned out wonderfully too.
Nobody here just comes to work. They seem to come to work for the cause. Kathy Schneider does accounting and customer service.
Exactly. I really like what Jim stands for in the company. I like the environmental awareness, and that's the main reasons I'm here. I really like what I do.
Keegan Perkins is the purchasing manager.
I mean, we see all these boxes, all these stacks, and all these colors, all these sizes, scoop necks, regular, whatever. How many kinds of t-shirts?
Every color you could think of: white, ash, natural, black. We got your colored scoops. We got your youth shirts, long sleeves in 3 colors, sweats in 4 colors.
Okay.
We try and keep stock levels to a minimum. Order only what we need for a week. You're looking at $40,000, $50,000 worth of t-shirts just sitting there doing nothing. So it's better to free up that money.
You're doing $2 million in sales today. You have all this stuff. You have this equipment. You have all these employees, and you don't have a banker you don't have loans. You've never had a loan.
No, well, we did do. You see, partly we're getting credit from our suppliers. Like, T-shirt mills would give us credit, and T-shirt wholesalers would give us credit. So we would have 30 days in which to pay them back.
So you use the float.
We'd use the float on. They would send us inventory. We would have 20 days before it was due to be paid, and as long as we were steadily selling things, we would have, or when we'd have a really large order for $10,000 or $12,000, maybe we would ask someone to put down part of the money in advance.
You'd ask the customer.
Yes.
Okay, so you have worked with your suppliers and your customers to finance the business.
That's it. We had to prove ourselves gradually. We started with Anvil, and they've been great. We've been buying from them for 20 years. We started with them at 21 years. And it was a gradual thing where maybe at first we'd have to pay part of the order, and then we could get more and more credit.
Okay. So advice you would give to people about money is maybe be patient.
That, and I'd also say watch more carefully. Once or twice I got greedy and lazy too. I think a customer of ours had expanded to $35 million in sales in just a few years. From when we used to sell them shirts, suddenly they started having their own line of shirts, and they were huge. So I thought, well, I'll try and market to schools the way this customer is. And I did a lot of mailings to schools, and they were very expensive. And I should have done a few small mailings instead of several large mailings. So I'd say experiment. Don't imitate, and experiment gradually unless you're really sure of what you're doing. When it's been something I'm really sure of, like buying a new piece of printing equipment or a new camera, then it's always been worth it to get the best quality we could, because quality has been what we want people to be happy and to come back and order over and over for years. And I'd say invest in the people. I need to do that more than I do. Some years we've had great years, and we've been able to give good bonuses and profit sharing and donations, and that's the way I'd like to have the company working every year. And then the employees say that they're happy, they feel appreciated, and it's great.
A lot of business owners and all the management textbooks and all that say, once you get the product and your processes in place, it's the people that's the hardest part of running a business. I don't sense that from you.
Well, it's probably hardest in that it's hard if they aren't getting along, and I get involved in that and am not patient. But if either because the people who work here encourage me to relax, or if I remember myself to relax, then it seems okay. Usually people, if we talk together with them, they'll start getting along.
I think that the human spirit can only do so much so fast.
I think that there's a temptation to that. The speed and the technology can get me and other people all wound up. If something's not working right on the computer, I can get frustrated at it and start cussing it. And if things seem really urgent and it seems like someone hasn't done something, then you can start getting pissed or wondering whose fault it is and stuff.
But it's also the thing is some competitors are going to come in here and beat us, and they're going to beat us to the marketplace with their ideas, and we have to hurry. I don't feel that here.
It may be from the people who work here and their friends, and every so often the people here have maybe the more natural. Sigurd Olson writes in some of his books that if we can go experience nature or experience each other, if we smile at each other or are kind to each other, then there's a way that we may slow down and we figure out how we fit into a greater plan, or if not a greater plan, a greater pattern.
Okay, that's a value here.
I think so. It's not officially a value, but it's unofficially a value. That a lot of people are friends, or a lot of people have great work ethics, and they're very clear about getting the work done, but they also know that's what's really important is, or another thing that's really important is walking with their kids when they get home, or relating to their family. And
wouldn't you agree with me that your customers are not buying T-shirts?
I guess they're trying to help somehow. We do donate money to good environmental groups and sometimes shirts, and we try to have information on the shirts. Like we'll have something explaining what the threat. On some shirts we'll have saying here's a threat and here's what we can do, and here's old growth forests are disappearing and we should write Congress and ask them to save the forests.
It's not the T-shirt, it's the message and the cause on the T-shirt that people buy. It has taken 20 years, discipline, focus, and a never veering off mission commitment from Jim for this company to get where it is today. Michael Gerber's books are popular, The E-Myth and The E-Myth Revisited. He would probably laugh at Jim Morris because Jim comes into work every day. Gerber says your business and your life are two totally separate things. His message is we're stupid if we try to make our business our life. We say that's true only for business owners who don't care what business they're in. Jim's business and personal life are seamless. He lives the life of an environmentalist. And remember, he doesn't sell T-shirts, he sells saving the earth. This same person attracts employees who ride their bikes to work and prefer to be at a place where they feel they're making important contributions. It's okay if your business and your personal life are totally integrated. If your goal is simply to get rich, read Michael Gerber. But if your goal is to build a business in perfect sync with your life values, as Jim Morris has done, that's a solid business strategy. To read the entire script of this program, go to smallbusinessschool.org. Running a catalog company requires sophisticated technology. Greg Strevey is the systems manager. Do you know how many names you have in the database?
Right now, our existing customers and people that we keep track of, a little over 100,000.
100,000.
Yeah, and that's fairly small for a company this size. Many places will have many more, but we try and keep it as reasonable as possible. I don't like to keep a lot of extraneous names in there. We try and keep only people who are interested in buying from us because we don't like to mail extraneous stuff. It's too expensive.
Okay. You've been here
8 years.
8 years. How has the technology changed?
The change in technology over the last 8 years has been phenomenal. There were, of course, nobody had ever even heard of the web 8 years ago. When we first put up our site, it was pretty glitzy and it was pretty advanced, actually. We had online ordering capability, and so we were a little ahead of the curve. We let it languish for a while. Now we're back in business, and we are really trying to increase our web presence dramatically right now.
So you're mailing catalogs. Let's talk about how often do you mail those? Do you mail the whole 100,000 every time, and how often do you mail?
We're trying to be organized in how we mail them, where we'll mail the people who are more frequent customers and buy at a larger amount. We'll mail them very frequently, and the people who buy occasionally will mail occasionally. So we're learning ways that we can be very efficient in our mailing. We're also learning how to use mailing lists, and then if there's some customers who buy from REI and LL Bean but don't don't buy from us will use those names, and they're more likely to buy from us.
So this consultant, you hired him or her to look at your current database and to look at other options that are out there to help you expand your base.
Right, to refine our rentals of lists and of all our catalog buyers and mix them together to figure out which cells work best, and then to mail to more of those cells. That's been working well for us.
Louise Tenenbaum is shipping manager. Do you know have a clue how many packages you send out of here on a day or month or year?
Oh, damn. We at Christmas sometimes send out 300 to 400 a day. We, generally speaking, now at this slower time of year, a little bit slower, it's say almost maybe 100. Because we also have to count in the customized and the custom orders that we ship out. Everything ends up in here with us and is shipped out through this department.
Now, why are you wearing this shirt today?
I happen to love our local artist, Harriet Peck Taylor. The little sweet animals and the colors.
How is working in an organization that gives money to a good cause and working for truly an environmentalist like Jim, how does that affect the way you feel about being here?
It makes you feel good. It makes you feel good when people come to the front room and they're sort of quiet Boulder supporters of the whole gamut. It's wonderful to send out T-shirts to children, which we, our little fans, our little small supporters. It generally makes us feel good, and one of the nicest things about working for Jim is his environmental concern for us as workers. He ships in good water to us. He is very concerned about anything toxic going on in our work environment.
So it's a teaching environment.
It also ends up, for a lot of people here, being a teaching environment. Another thing we've had is young kids work here, teenagers, and that's another good way to be getting the message across.
Like the willows here, I can see the willows I grew up with. And here's a mullen. This is a plant here in Colorado that grows in dry places, and people, I think, would smoke the leaves and maybe eat the root. When I started the business, I only subscribed to a couple environmental magazines, and I think I made the mistake of subscribing to 50 or 60. So there's horrible things happening all over the world and great things happening, but
and you want to do something about all of it.
Yeah, if I don't do something, if I just read about it, then I feel bad. But if I do something, even just writing a letter or going and feeling tentative and nervous at a hearing, but saying something, it always seems to turn out fine, and then I feel much better.
Well, what I'm getting at is, because there are so many causes still to come, guess what?
There'll be lots of things to do. It would be wonderful if I could do that. I mean, there are all these heroes.
You can't quit.
Well, there's, David Brower's in his 80s, and he's still out there trying to prevent nuclear war, and I think the woman who was saving the Everglades just died 2 or 3 years ago in her 90s or hundreds, and there's all these people. There's place at any age for people to go and both sense a wonder in wildlife and nature and meet other people who will help them enjoy it and protect it.
So, advice to a small business owner who's tired is?
Go recreate yourself by, doing things with your good friends and the things you like doing. Interact with your customers, talk directly with them and your salespeople, and think about which parts you like doing yourself and do more of those. The only times I've been arrested have been when friends have been, friends of mine have been getting arrested trying to block entrance to a nuclear weapons plant that's polluting, and I see them being a little bit roughly treated because it's a hot day and the police have had to deal with a lot of people, and I just see that it's so right what they're doing that I sit down to block the road too, or I see grandmothers walking across a fence line. So I'm sort of a follower of good people, and it's just look for good people and they're around and you can follow them, and it's not bad to be arrested to protect the environment, or instead of arresting you can write a letter or help some group. You can
Go out and enjoy nature. Look inside flowers. Smell the tree bark. Hear the wind in the trees and grass. Your spirit will soar. Boulder seems to be an incubator for new ideas, and so many of them turn into great businesses. Jim lives in a community full of entrepreneurs. If you find yourself surrounded by dull, negative people, go join your local Chamber of Commerce and get active in a local chapter of your trade association. Remember, it's okay if your business and your personal life are seamless. That's the way it should be. We'll see you next time.
Small Business School is made possible by support from the United States Postal Service, delivering the promise to America's 23 million small and growing businesses. There's no wait at the post office in your own office. USPS.com is waiting for you. And by Microsoft.
We see you building a new company from an old company. We see a business full of potential. We're inspired to create software that helps you reach it.
If you want to learn more about starting, running, and growing a business, come to our website, smallbusinessschool.org. There's streaming video and interactive study guides. The only way we can compete with big business is to be faster, smarter, and better. We are the engine of the American economy. We create the jobs. Small business is about big commitment. It's about sacrifice and struggle. But we do it because we say, if I don't do this, my life won't be complete.